That's it, mate. I'm recording now.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, mate. Yeah.
All right, brilliant.
You can hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay, there you go. Sometimes I have these issues when we start these. There's always some kind of nonsense. This is a new life, isn't it, doing these kind of...
Mate, ever since lockdown, this is all about face-to-face on the cameras and phones and computers.
I mean, to be honest, this is the closest I like to get to people anyway, so...
I'm sure we've been closer, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm sure we've hugged each other at one point, haven't we, at the Bhangra Awards?
Yes, yeah. I believe so.
Yeah,
there's a lot of hugging going on that day.
There was a lot of hugging going on for you because obviously you guys had won an award, so you was just giving out hugs to everyone. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry, you was hugging everyone, and I think I queued up and I hugged you as well. But
a lot of Tom, Dick, and Hardips.
Yeah, exactly. Hugs galore, mate. You're a great hugger, by the way. I must.
Well, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment.
But Harvey, look, it's fantastic having you on. I really appreciate.
Cheers, man. Thanks for the opportunity, mate.
No, not a problem at all. It's kind of good timing that you've come on. You've just had just released something online, haven't you? A Sahota's cover.
Yes.
So it's kind of perfect timing for you to come on. I want to get your thoughts on, it worked out. I want to get your thoughts on why you did that. But let's start from the beginning. Obviously, I've known you many years ago, right?
We go way back.
Yeah, I mean, it was our mutual friend Shin GC.
That's it,
yeah,
Mr. Haya.
Yeah. So you told me once. This is I think we was just WhatsApping each other that you used to play the doll, right? Or you was learning to play. Is that right?
That's how I started my musical journey. So I have Shin GC to thank for a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I started doll. Literally just picked it up off a cousin who didn't play it anymore. He was part of a Bhangra group up north. He didn't play anymore. He had moved on. Hold on, let me just turn that off because that's going to annoy me. That's my work mobile.
Yeah, tell him you're busy.
Yeah. It's too important. This is far too important. So basically, I needed someone to learn Dola because I just need the basic, and I didn't really. And Dol wasn't around then in recordings in our Punjabi music. Because that was a time of Hira Alap, Deepak Kazanchi with the disco, Bhangra Fever albums. So Dol wasn't in those recordings. So basically, I needed some sort of teaching input. So the closest to me, I live in Ilford, the closest to me was Gravesend. And I turned up outside, I think it was a school that you guys used to practice at.
That's right. Yeah.
And came in, walked in, total stranger, and then I saw this big guy just lacing the hell out of this door.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's the guy. And that was Shin GC. That was Steve Hare.
Yeah. Let's not talk about him too much. He'll get a big head. And no, but that's great. I mean, that's many years ago, right? So what, did you have a love for music, or you just something you wanted to try out, or?
I think I've always loved music. I loved listening to it when I was a child, and I always found myself tapping on tables. I'm sure everyone remembers, loads of good door players now. Back in school, it was all pencils on the table, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm partly to blame for that as well. So just that's how it started for me. Pencils on tables. Then it actually went onto the instrument. Started learning off good old Steve.
Yeah.
And then it went on to other instruments, other musicians teaching me, and here I am today.
Yeah.
Still learning, by the way. It never ends.
We're always learning, whatever we're doing, right? And I can tell that, this is a story that goes many years back because you call him Steve, like I do. And only real friendship band there call him Steve, right? But for the rest, for the rest of the world, they know him as Shinji C, which
Shinji C, that's it.
Which
he's come a long way as well. So kudos to him as well.
Absolutely. But for you, you've made a massive jump from playing the door. So you carried on playing the door. Was you a singer then, or did you?
No, I had no idea. I think you was a singer then when I was playing door.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. Look, it sounds like I'm interviewing you today. Yeah, so it kind of progressed. It went from, you know, the rhythm instrument to door key, tabla, and then it moved to harmonium keys. Natural progression is to then go into production, and that's kind of where I went with that.
Yeah. Did you kind of want to be a producer first? And
I think I was a producer first.
Right.
Produced, not anything mainstream or anything like that. Just kind of bedroom stuff, kind of, you know, home studio setups with my friend. You know, just messing about, beat sounds. Produced a few things for one of my uncles. You know.
Yeah.
But it moved on to singing when I think we completed our first album, which was called Punjabi X. And the song was called Kudi Punjaban. And I thought I'd give it a go, which I did.
Yeah. And so when you like gave it a go, did your friends sort of say, yeah, come on, Harvey, you know, you can sing? And was you one of them guys a bit like me, who once had a few glassy on that, would always pull out some bollia? And
I don't think I ever needed a glassy to be able to sing. It was just a natural thing. And I think for me, you know, I enjoyed singing certain types of songs, mainly kind of the Sahota's vibe. But I was into 80s and 90s Bhangra big time. So for me, Safi Boys, DCS, Sahota's, Alab, Hida, that kind of music, that kind of song, that really got me singing along. Because there were sing-along songs back then.
Yeah, you know?
They were. Weddings, parties, in the car, you name it.
And them songs are like evergreen songs, right? Even now, you put them on. The production's fantastic. The vocals are great. The songs are fantastic. It was such a high point, I think, for UK Bhangra when that live scene was at its peak. I mean, I've seen some videos online recently of some old shows in Hippodrome and Bagley's Warehouse, and the lineups were just unbelievable, right? There was just bands.
Some crazy lineups, mate.
You know,
Ministry.
Which one?
That was another Ministry of Sound.
Ministry of
Sound.
Had
a few gigs there. That was firing scene. That was.
So you must have been seeing all them kind of things, a bit like me, and thinking, "Wow, you know, man, I want to do this. This
This
is amazing. I want to be up there and sing." And so you did a bit of production. You did a song. Did you enjoy singing? It's quite a difference between singing, say, with your friends, or, you know, even with a group of friends in a band, but then singing in a studio. I mean, it's a different level, right?
It's a totally different level. I mean, you know, singing in a band, you can go that little bit extra. It's that one take feel. The audience will either catch you or they won't. And generally, you're a little bit more free when you're in the studio behind a mic, you know, recording a vocal. And as you all know, it's complete technicality. And sometimes takes 100 takes to get a word right.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest with you. I really struggled in the studio because
really?
I did, and because I was so used to doing bollinga with a doll. I was always, and then with a band. When a studio,
you was always a live singer. To start with a performance singer.
Exactly.
So that's how I remember you. I remember you on the back of the truck.
Yeah. Well, any truck? What was it? A random truck?
No, it was the truck that, you know, with all the door players on there.
Oh right,
and we were doing. I think we were doing a jam day.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's how far back we go.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Yeah. So I really struggled when I went into the studio. It was you know, a controlled environment. Picked up every little mistake. Everything. Anytime you was out of key, it would pick it up, and, you know, you had to be spot on. So anytime I hear a singer sing live, I appreciate it so much more these days. And even when I hear you and I hear you've done your live set online that I've seen, and I know how hard this is, that people don't sometimes appreciate. This is not something you could just throw together, especially if you're remote. Everyone's remote from each other. You haven't got the keys guys next to you, telling you, to go up a bit. It's so difficult, and but there's no better vibe. I know you're a band person. You love singing in a band. There's no better vibe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's really difficult for people to go on.
Yeah, sorry. I totally agree with what you're saying. It is a totally different feeling. In the studio, it's just you by yourself. I know you got all the music playing in your ear, but at that moment, you're not even thinking about enjoying it. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about getting it right.
Yeah.
And that pressure behind that mic is intense.
Yeah.
So you started off as a live singer and then went into the studio. I started in the studio, and when I tried to transition from studio singing to live band singing, I remember the first rehearsal we had. It was only a few of us, but the first time I just completely locked up. I was like, I couldn't catch the beat. I wasn't ready, and it was like, sorry guys, let's just practice the music, and I'll come back. And it took a good 2-3 rehearsals before I was ready to kind of let go and let loose. But practice makes perfect. And then after a while, that's how I enjoy the music. I totally love it now. And any chance I get now to play with the keys guy or, Dorky, it's next level feeling.
Yeah, it is a great feeling. And not many people will understand what it's like playing with your friends in a band. And when there's sometimes there's that feeling where everyone's on point. The drummers tight, the keys are perfect. You're singing in key. The crowd are loving it. That vibe. You look at each other, and you can all feel that same sort of magic, can't you?
And there's a moment, isn't there? There's a moment where you're in a song and everything just comes together, and everyone's done their bit, done their homework, and the music is it's just gelling like it would do on a tape.
Yeah, especially if it's got a few stops in the song. You'll come in at the right time, and you've been practicing your ass off for months doing that, and you've done it right. I remember them days. It's a beautiful magic moment. It honestly is, and I'm so glad. You've got a band, a fantastic band, but you've definitely got a specific style, which probably obviously a lot of people will know, a Sahota style.
That's it.
I'm going to ask maybe a stupid question. Are you related to Sahotas?
That's not a stupid question. That's what I like to call the question everybody asks.
Yeah.
That everybody asks. And the answer is no, I'm not related to them. But they have had a huge input and influence on my musical journey. So for, I would say, a period of about maybe a year to a year and a half, I was on the road with them. Just as a roadie. I used to go to the shows, meet up, became good friends with Raj Sahota, who's the Dorky player. Spent a lot of time with him, learning the beats, the Dorky beats, and that's that style of Dorky that he plays, which kind of almost originates from Ustad Dari, who's a internationally renowned double R player. So I got a chance to spend a lot of time with them both on the stage, in terms of just being on the back of the stage, just watching. Sometimes that is the greatest learning. Learning about what equipment, what keyboards they used, getting to know each individual team member, and spending some time with the lead singer, Sergit. Yeah. That was phenomenal. Yeah, seeing them warm up, set up for the stage, and then do their bit whilst there's no audience. That alone is worth his weight in gold. So I learned a lot.
That's a great experience. I mean, a lot of youngsters out there who are trying to get into music, they'll never have that experience of having a real band. Half the experience was going to gigs, setting up, unloading, the trip in the van, all the banter. It's just a magic experience. And I'll be honest, I never fully appreciated Sahotas, because I was one of them people, you can't dance to Sahotas. I was
you're not the first one to say that.
Yeah. And I just didn't get it. And then Ishq came out, and that
was it. That was the album.
What the fuck is this album? It's unbelievable. you know, it just blew me away, and I just non-stop kept playing it. I was thinking, I don't care if I can't dance to this. This is brilliant, you know. And then I got them and I listened to their older albums, and I thought, these guys are so unique. That's what it was. They're a unique band, and they're doing their own thing, and their sound is, you know, Mahi was a great song. It was non-stop, and then now I fully appreciate how good they were, you know, and what a unique band they were. They were so different.
I guess they were unique in the sense that it was them from the start, and they never changed. You know, a lot of the other bands, a lot of the, you know, Birmingham based, around that sort of place, and you always found different band members jumping from band to band here and there. But the Sahotas, it was just them, and that was it. There was nobody in, there was nobody out. It was just that those five, and that was it. And even their sound, it changed as the albums came out. And you're right, Ishq was the one where they finally, you know, pretty much nailed the sound that they had been working towards in the previous albums. And you can hear it develop all the way if you listen from album to album.
Yeah.
And, you know, then after Ishq, of course, was Hasogya, which was their biggest anthem.
Yeah, and it's an amazing song. And you're right, because that when Ishq came out, I think it just showed everyone else that, not just the die-hard Sahotas fans, everyone else that listens to Bhangra music, like, these guys are unbelievable. And I mean, thinking about in those days, to get a band of that caliber, and you could see them at a wedding, it was brilliant. I remember being young and you used to go to a wedding, you think, oh, I wonder what band it's going to be, you know. And that
was always the talking point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was always get to the party,
yeah,
crisps are out. It was always crisps on the table, and you're just looking at the stage. You could see the instruments, but you didn't know who the band was unless they obviously had their banner up. Yeah. But that came later. Before that, it was just like, who's the band? Who's the band? Who's the band?
Yeah, and an amazing band. And so, have you ever been in touch with them since? You know, now they've heard you.
Well, I've spoken to Sergey a few times actually. A few years ago, I think about 2 years ago, when I released a cover version of Sajna with my band. He actually congratulated me on it in person, and then obviously online as well, in a video he did for us. And then recently I found out he's heard Hustle. He hasn't spoken to me directly, but he's spoken to one of my band members who is a relative of theirs actually. So Devinder J, who's part of my band, he's a keyboard player. He's Sahota's nephew.
Right. Yeah.
So again, that just helps.
Yeah, keep the connection going. It's a crazy situation. You got 5 brothers in the family, and you know, I want to know which one of them said, "Let's make a band, man. Let's do it."
If you chart their journey, there's 3 of them to start with: the double player, the vocalist, and Mukhtar Sahota, the one with the long hair.
Yeah,
he's the keyboardist, the lead keyboardist. Them 3 started off in school, and they're the ones that produced the first 2-3 albums, and then the other 2 came along later on.
Yeah, thought might as well join in. This looks like fun, doesn't it?
Hey, but back then, gigs was what it was all about. It was all about performing and.
Yeah, it was about performing, right? So, I mean, with your band now as well, you know, how are you finding it with gigs? Obviously, at the moment, I'm not talking about COVID, because every interview I've done so far, I'm talking about COVID, and it's beginning to annoy me now. But pre-COVID, like last year, how was you finding the live scene? Were you getting many shows, or was it difficult to try and?
So at the moment, I think we're one of the, I'd say younger bands, but we're one of the newest bands, Bhangra bands, to hit the circuit, along with another great band, Brotherhood. You know, we kind of come on the scene at the same sort of time, and that was at the UK Bhangra Awards when we won, you know, the best band for that year, 2017. Since then, like I said, we only got together in 2017, so we're still fairly young. But last year was great. I got to do, you know, Bradford Festival, did the Luton Zimela, you know, with the full live band. So for me, those 2 are really good achievements last year, you know. And obviously the year before we did Luton Miller as a PA act, as a PA band. So it's kind of a half semi-live performance. Because it all comes down to, you know, sometimes it really does come down to money and budgets. Because as you know, putting a band together, there's a cost attached.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, because, you know, it's not, you know, being in a band, it's not about the money, but sometimes it becomes about the money.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, it's just the science of the band. Even logistics, transportation, van, food.
Yeah,
that all kicks in. So yeah, sometimes we have to kind of compromise on not doing the whole band setup. So we do like a semi-live performance. So we've done a few of those. And as a band, like I said, I've got to play 2 festivals in the UK. And we had a few lined up this year, but once again, it hasn't worked out. So next year, back on the circuit.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about being in a band. You are trying to manage all these little things, and you're obviously trying to manage characters and personalities.
Oh yes,
and which is probably the toughest part, I think, because everyone has got their own preferences on doing things, and everyone wants an input, which is how it should be. But it can be difficult. But you kind of need that 1 or 2 people to have a kind of direction that you want to go in. Or a manager as such. It is difficult. It's a difficult situation. So are you kind of the manager? Do you set the direction of the band?
I do now, yes. So since 2017, the band has gone through a couple of changes. A couple of players had to leave due to family commitments. So I brought a couple of other players on. But the core of the band is myself, my friend Amit, piano man, and Devinder J, the guy from Wolverhampton, the keys player. So they're both keys players and myself. So we kind of hold the sound together. And then I've got a few guys playing different instruments, drums, bass, and talkie in the back. And I always select specific people. So that's my kind of band setup at the moment. I try and keep it flexible because it's just the way the world works nowadays. A lot of people are in it, and then they're not in it. So I try and keep the core together, and everyone else can kind of chop and change a little bit.
Yeah. Mate, keep that core happy, yeah? You've got to keep that core happy.
Oh, yeah. Well, good thing that the 3 of us, the core of us, we're also doing the production on the new singles and stuff. So that also helps drive, the togetherness forward as well.
Yeah, and the input. So, I think everyone wants an input, you see. But it is difficult. It's not easier just being a one-man band. Hence why I like making the show. It's just me. I've got no one to answer to, right? So
that's it. You make the decisions.
It's easy, right? But I know what you mean. It's difficult, but kudos to you. We need more bands. I think that, and you're right. It always goes down to budgets and promoters, and if they're willing to spend some money on bands. But I think if there's more quality bands out there, then promoters will think, look, there's a demand to see live bands. I think at the moment the live scene's been taken over by acts from India. And I think
at the moment, I mean, they're the ones that can command the audience because they've got the hits. Yeah, and that's how it kind of works, really. You've kind of got to have the hits to support the live. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So a lot of the new bands, well, we don't have the hits at the moment. So that's something that I've been working on, I would say, since this year, trying to work on singles and things like that. So I've got about 4 singles in a pipeline that we're working on. So hopefully, let's see how they do. And if they prove popular, then that only drives the band to be booked.
Yeah,
for shows and festivals and things like that.
Yeah. So are you writing these songs yourself, or you got a writer?
So lyrically, I can't really write Punjabi songs. I don't have that poetry flair because you need that, don't you? Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
You could probably string together the odd bully or two, but to write a proper, well-balanced song, you need someone good. So I tend to use a couple of writers from Birmingham and Wolverhampton for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back in the day in the bands, they used to have their writers themselves, people like Safri. Maljeet Singh, they used to have writers. I mean, and they didn't do too bad. Huh?
Still do. I think one of their favourites was Jandu Litranwala, wasn't he?
Exactly. So they didn't do too bad. I mean, Elvis never wrote none of his songs.
I never knew that. I'm not an Elvis fan.
I
like his music,
fan.
but not his.
never wrote none of his songs. So
okay.
But what the point being, you're right. I'm glad you said that because you've got to know your strengths and weaknesses, right? So you want to keep your strengths to production and singing, make sure the song's how you want it to be. And if you need a writer whose skill is within writing lyrics and making it sound legitimate as a good song. You know, you need that, right? And so that, I mean, that's a great approach to have, definitely. Are you looking to create an album or singles? It's a difficult one, right? So
I'd love to do an album. I mean, our first release as a production unit, me and Amit, it was an album. It was an album, 8 songs, but that was back in 2003, and since then, 70 years on, it's a whole different industry. And now it is a fashion of doing singles. It's just single after single after single after single. Recently, a group of friends of mine, they've released an album after a long time. And I think this is one of the first, which is also available on CD. So it's Sean and Vrinda from Ilford, they're good friends of mine. Yeah, and they've had a good album out. So, you know, I mean, it might be coming back. I think it's still a novelty having an album.
It's odd, isn't it? Yeah. So, I remember when there were albums all the time and a single came out, or you got 4 songs on a cassette. And I remember when I can't remember who it was released by, but anyway, I got 4
EP, weren't they?
And I was like, what the fuck's this, man? Where's my 16 songs? £2.50.
You're talking about the old days, mate.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen anymore.
But it's not going to happen, but I think it's difficult because if you create an album, it's a lot of hard work. You know, there's 10 songs on there, 12 songs, and it's just putting it out there in one go.
The other thing about an album now is, you know, people, unless you're doing it full time, which most of us artists and musicians aren't doing it full time, you need the time, and by the time that you finished one song and you've got to the 10th one, God knows how long it's been, and whether that song, the initial first song that you done, is still in fashion now. You know, does it still have the acceptable music on it? Because it could take about 2 years to put a good album together. And as you know now, the music fashion changes so quick.
Yeah.
But even in Bhangra music, it's just changed completely. I mean, 6 months ago, we were listening to something else, and now all of a sudden it's something else. And I'm sure, you know, 2021 is going to be a different style of music. At the moment, it seems to be all hip-hop based.
Yeah.
USA hard rap style Bhangra Punjabi lyrics.
Yeah. That's a new genre you came out with.
Which is great. I mean, I do like some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like some of that stuff. But some of it, I think, to me, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I'll tell you what usually makes me laugh is some of the covers when they've got guns and like the gangster style. They love being gangsters, don't they? What's wrong with these people?
But the thing is, their lyrics represent that too. You know, they're talking about, you know, let's talk about one that's just come out now. Amrit Man and Musiala. Bambi Habole. I mean, this is literally talking about gunshots. Yeah. That's what it means, isn't it? So it's obviously going to have a gun on the cover, but that's okay. That's right. You know, if that's what they want to do, that's the creative thing. You know, American hip hop's all about that. So
yeah. So
like I said, it's just a change. It's just another fashion thing. Yeah. And like I said, it's going to change again.
Probably the only thing that's a constant, I think, with Bhangra music at least, is folk. You know, folk songs. You know, that's always there.
Yeah.
And it makes a massive comeback, and it's usually because of songs come out and everyone loves it, and then everyone's into folk music, and you get loads of folk type songs coming out. Everyone jumps on that bandwagon.
That's it.
And Sidhu Musiala will probably have a folk song out, and then you know, he'll put the guns away, and then he'll be back on
throw the guns away, bring out Tumbi
and a Gadasa, and right. So so with these trends are always changing, but are you seeing yourself as a band having a particular sound and sticking to that, or are you flexible in that sense?
I think you know, the types of songs that we do. For me, you know, I don't have a folk voice. You know, I'm happy to admit that I don't have a folk voice. I've almost got this kind of Punjabi pop voice. You know, I don't do the hard expletives on the mic. It's quite soft, really. So I have to be kind of choosy on what I sing, what I can sing. But what I can do is I can take a folk song and I can give it my own twist. So we did a cover of Sajjana with Sajjana, the Gurdas Maan track. You know, big track to take on, but I didn't want to sing it like he sang it. Gurdas Maan. You can't sing it like he sang it. Then it's just a copy. So we had to literally change everything. So we changed all the music around, and we made it into a reggae fusion cover. So that for us, that's how I do it. And if I'm singing, Shariman's Hostel, then I'll sing it how I feel comfortable singing it. So that is a true cover version, because you can copy a song, but the true meaning of having a cover version is to do it your own way, which still gives respect to the original. Yeah. But at the same time, you've kind of brushed it with your own style. So
yeah, I think
that for me is a true cover.
That's definitely the key. If you remember, Pradesi had a Bilbiro Babi, and
yes, there you go.
And you knew it's a cover. You knew it's a Surinder Shinda song, and
absolutely.
But it was nothing like his song.
It was Punjabi rock, innit?
And it was unbelievable, and they put their stamp on it. They didn't just take the song and put music to it. They actually created some new work of art with it. And, I mean, even put Jattan there was just different.
Yes. I think a lot of bands have had I think DCS's Put Jattan goes down as one of the best, really good ones.
Yeah. And no one would say, oh, look, you're doing a cover version, I think people get annoyed with cover versions when there's no difference really from the original.
That's right.
To the new one, apart from the singer, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's it. Generally, the music's normally the same, or they haven't really done anything to the darj. They left it alone. They've not changed any chords. It's just as it is. Music's played, and then the singers just try to sing it just like Gurdas Maan would.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like, well, okay, well, you just copied it, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But a true cover, if you look at what the Gore do, and the mainstream, when they do a cover, it's a total transformation, and you appreciate the new beauty in the same song.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try and bring along when I do a cover. I try somehow give it something different, present it in a different color, basically. So
I think that's quite exciting, actually. You got me thinking. I think that'd be great for you to, some of these old, really traditional songs that we've had and some people have forgotten, especially the youngsters wouldn't know about them, and to have your sort of style on it and your voice and your band's music. I think it'd be amazing. I really would like to listen to that and think, actually, I know that song, but it's different. I really enjoy this. That's definitely somewhere you should sort of head towards, I think. I'm not managing your band now, by the way, so that's up to you, obviously. But I would like to hear
band manager.
Yeah, I would like to hear, but I would like to. No, I've had enough of bands, mate, and people.
Really?
But I would like to hear that. I think that'd be fantastic. Some of these old sort of songs, unknown songs that we've forgotten about, to have your sort of vocals on them. I think it'd be so different, and I would definitely appreciate it and think, you know what, these guys have made something new. This is not just a cover. They've tried something different here. So yeah, I think definitely something for the future you could bring out. I'll be up for listening to that, definitely.
I think after doing Sajna, we've got 2 or 3 in the pipeline. Actually, you said it. We have got a couple in the pipeline which we're going to release as new songs this year. But they're going to be covers, but not like you've heard before, in the same style as what we did with Sajna. So we're going to put that treatment on to those traditional songs that we're working on at the moment.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it should be exciting, because the thing is, that's what we do when we perform live. We don't just sing the songs as they are. We literally do recreate new, fresh music to go with some of these songs. So last year at the Bradford Festival, we did Punjabi MC's Mirza live. There is footage out there somewhere. But we did that live, but we did it our way. We didn't do it how he's got it on the album. Because it's hard to recreate the album sound on stage as it is anyway, as you know, as a band. Because you don't have all those sequences and samplers and things triggering off beats and loops. You have to play it live. So you have to present it in that live kind of format. So yeah, so it's definitely an idea that we've already kind of kickstarted.
Oh right, I thought of it.
You can take the credit.
Thank you very much.
Credit.
Yeah, I'll cut the start of it out, and we'll pretend I thought of that.
Yeah. Thanks for that, man. It's a really good house.
Anytime. Come on again. No, but that's great, you know. And I think definitely with your vocals as well, you have got a very different style. I remember when I was singing, I don't think I've really got a folk voice really, and or had one then, but I always wanted to be one. So I always wanted to sing them Marnik songs, Jazzy B. But and so you kind of got to know, it's not the limitations. You got to know where your vocals lie and what styles they suit.
I think. Well, the other thing is you can learn to sing that way, you know, because you know. Could have gone to true school for lessons, really, or to Derby. Yeah. You would have been you'd be out there singing your folk voice for that. Because he's a great fan of folk music, and anything else just doesn't do it for him. So, you know, I know he's very hardline on even the type of singers that he uses on his productions, and obviously you want to like what you produce. So, you know, JK and now Prince. You know, they're in that folk voice, and he's obviously taught them very well. So he knows it inside out. He knows that subject. So I believe you can be taught how to sing that way. It's going to take time, but you know, that is what it is. And there are limitations to your voices, and sometimes it's down to what you like as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that kind of style of singing, folk. It seems very tiring to me. It's very exhausting, you know. It's quite high key, isn't it? And then non-stop. I mean,
it's high key, and you're blasting the mic.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what that folk was.
And I've heard JK sing. I've seen him live as well, and he's a powerhouse, you know. And it's amazing seeing them kind of singers. But I could never do it, and I could just about do my own type of singing, right? Let alone someone like that. But so
I know how you feel, mate. I know how you feel.
I mean, you know, when like we're talking about how certain trends come into Bhangra, like folk music was so big, and it is always, you know, always crops up. So sometimes you think, oh, it was so much easier if I could just bloody sing like that. You know, I can bang out some folk songs. You know, you know. So because
you have that feeling now and again. You think, damn, I wish I could sing a song like that, but just not meant to be. So
but then you look at people like Sahotas and Shin from DCS and Hida. They weren't really folk singers. They didn't have that folk voice. They didn't have the folk voice.
Absolutely not. I mean, even to a certain extent, even Safri and Malkeet, they're not really folk. But obviously the lean, Safri and more Malkeet actually, they lean towards folk, but they still have that poppy Bhangra vibe about their vocal when you listen back to you know some of their classic songs. It's not really the the lembers or the the singers of that ilk. You know, they're folk. They can really hammer it out.
So definitely so the sort of style of them UK bands was definitely influenced obviously by being in the UK, and they had their roots from India, so they had a real mashup of what Bhangra was about. UK Bhangra, at least, it was that mix you know, of two styles coming together, Western instruments, Punjabi lyrics, and that's how it became about. Now it's sort of leaning towards you've got the Punjabi lyrics, but the music can be completely hip hop style music, and you know, heavy bass line. So it'd be good to have some of that old style of pop type Bhangra back. I think people would love it. You know, that kind of sort of mellow. You know, I mean, Cool and Deadly from Hida. That was kind of pop, wasn't it? It was a pure pop sort of album, you know.
Wasn't that the one with the Saskatchewan on there?
Yeah. So it was songs like that, you know, but the music was fantastic, and so I think not to experiment, but to have your own style. I think that's how you should be comfortable in your own style, and you know, because like you said, the English bands, the Gaudy bands, they don't try and sing like the next person, do they? They are who they are.
That's it.
You know, so you get all these young singers, they don't all want to be Beyonce or, or Coldplay. Each band's got an individual sound. And you know that band sound, and that's what they're going to be like. And if they do a cover, that's fine. That's the way they'll do that cover in their style. So are you going to keep mainly a reggae vibe? Is that where you're sort of trending towards, or?
No, not at all. So obviously Sajjana was a reggae vibe. And then the single I released last year, Mitranu, that was more, I think that you could say was more of a Sahota's vibe, because that had kind of all their favorite elements. It was my first single after so many years, a fresh new one. And I think I just wanted to kind of give them another nod to say, this is now me. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks for help. Give me what you give me. And this is now I'm giving this kind of gift back to you guys. So moving forward, the new singles that we're working on, they're going to be slightly different than what people have heard from us before. So not to say we're selling out. We're just saying we're evolving as artists and musicians. So yeah, the new stuff is quite different.
Yeah,
it's not so much Sahota's based, not so much reggae based. Although we do have one reggae one in there. We'll have to throw that one in. It's kind of one of my favorite styles of music. So how could I not?
I mean, you've done very well there, because you've tried really hard there not to tell me anything about the album, haven't you? Yet telling me about the album. So
well, just it's not an album. It's just a bunch of singles, and they're all kind of up in the air at the moment in terms of production. So I don't know what's going to be released first. I have no idea at the moment. So we're just kind of working on, I think, about 4, maybe 5 songs together in bits and parts. Get bored with one, we go back to the other one, and go back to the other one, and just chop and change.
So what about the other element of music these days, the video? Are you thinking of doing some videos for them as well? Or?
Yeah, so we actually shoot our own music videos. Luckily, I kind of like that creative photography video side of things as well. So as hard as it is, because it is damn hard trying to shoot your own music video, to direct it, I think between us, we kind of did all right on Sajjana and Mitranu as well. So those two were experiments for me to direct and be in the same video. Hard work, I ain't gonna lie. It was so hard. It was such a long day as well, because it's taking twice the time. But then you retain all the creative control, and I edited it, I finished it off. So the video was exactly what I wanted it to be in the end. I wasn't relying on someone else's vision. Going forward, are we going to do the same? Don't know. We're going to have to see.
Yeah,
because it is a very tiring process, and it does take a long time as well because of that. Because I'm doing everything on it, so I might bring in some guys to help me on that, but I'll probably end up editing it myself anyway. I'm just like that.
I'll do it. Yeah, don't worry.
Don't worry, mate. Give me the footage.
It's a tough one, really, because and it's hard as well, because obviously you're so involved in the song, and you get so involved in the editing process that you can sometimes get blind to certain things. Sometimes you do need someone who's sort of fresh into editing and thinking, no, it's best if you just do this, and this. It might work better, because I've done projects where it's photography or whatever it is, and I'm so into pictures that I've taken, because they're really hard to take, right? And I want this picture in it, but when I've shown people for like exhibitions, they said that they ignore that one, and I think, what about this one? They said, well, it doesn't quite work, and I was thinking that took me ages, that one. I had to get out really early for that one.
She's your baby. That's
my baby. Yeah, I like that one. But so sometimes you do need that person or people to just say, let's try this, let's do that, and And it is quite exhausting, mentally exhausting. If you're producing it, you're singing on it, you're doing the artwork for the single, the promotion on social media, the video, editing the video, the logistics of creating the video, the planning.
I'm getting tired already.
I know, God.
I'm getting tired by just listening to you talking.
Sorry, mate. It's a tough. That's why. But I think it's important to talk like that, because I think a lot of people that listen to the show, or people that want to get into the music scene, they kind of see the end product. They see the video, and they see the sort of likes and shares and think, yeah, that's what I want. I want to do that. They don't sometimes see that hard work, and especially being in a band, you know, lugging equipment at 3 o'clock in the morning and
mate,
driving off up the M1 and, you know, getting to the venue and things are running late and you're not going on at 10, you're going on at 12:30 now. And, you know, it's things like that. You know, it's...
I've been there.
We've been there,
right there. I have been right there. I have been told, yeah, you're going on at this time. And then we didn't go on until 3 minutes to the end of the show.
Yeah. God, that's so annoying, I'll tell you. Yeah, that is annoying.
That's the annoying part, is setting up in approximately 10 minutes and then only playing for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
that was it.
I know where you're coming from, because I don't know about promoters where they should think, look, the bands have come a long way, so maybe if we can cut a few of the PAs, because not being funny, they've just come along with a CD.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so
I mean, yeah.
Obviously, I'm really biased towards bands, right? But
the thing is,
you could put a bloody CD in your pocket. These guys have brought drum kits along. You know how hard that is?
It's a different world. It is a different world. But I think you have to appreciate, you know, even that artist, he's come from somewhere. All right, he's only got a CD in his pocket.
Harvey, you're too kind. No, I'm not having it.
But
CD, it's a CD in their pocket, right? Let them do one song. They put their CD back in their pocket. If you've got time at the end, you can get your CD back out, because they can't do that with you. You're going to have to set up. And if they say to you,
it's a lot of rigmarole, mate. I will say that. I will agree. I will agree.
I'm on team band, all right? I don't care. Don't worry about PAs. I'm on team band too.
That's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, but I remember that. I think I know the event you're talking about. You was a bit frustrated. I think we was like, bloody hell, that'd be right annoying for us. We'd be annoyed as well. But that's what happens. Yeah.
That's it.
Live music. I remember gigs were like that sometimes as well. But I remember when we was in Better Than Monday towards the end of our sort of time, the DJ started coming onto the scene.
Cracking band, by the way, I have to say.
Yeah, they were great. To be honest, I joined towards the end, right? And
okay.
They had already had, I think, 2 albums out at the time. I was mainly there for the last one, but so I came towards the end. I've always been lucky, because I've always known people in music that give me a chance, because otherwise I don't think I would have done anything.
Listen, mate, you're from Gravesend, so you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, you always get a chance if you're in Gravesend. You always know someone, right? Who's into
That's it. There you go. So opportunities knocking on your door.
Exactly, right? So, but I remember being at them gigs, and I remember it was the Hippodrome, and RDB were just coming on the scene, and they're 3 brothers, and we were thinking, who's these young guys, you know? And they were kind of making a big noise up north in Yorkshire, and they were sort of slowly coming into London, and they're making a name for themselves. And there were other DJs as well, DJ producers, shall we say?
That's it.
And it sort of became, I think, for promoters, easier and cheaper, I suppose, to hire them, because they hit songs is a big thing. They had hit songs.
That's it.
So if they had the hit songs and they were cheaper to hire because there weren't so many members than a band.
Yeah, they can come in a car. Yeah, they can come on a train. They can come on a tube.
Come on a tube with their records.
That's it.
It's like them PA people with the seat. Gotta hate them.
CD.
I'm still putting this out there. I don't care. But so, we could see that trend going towards, you know, DJs and bookings drying up. Weddings definitely we were wedding band really, plus the odd gigs here and there. And the weddings were sort of drying up as well. And it's a real shame, because I mean,
the DJs took over the weddings.
Yeah, and then exactly so
because they could play all the favorite songs whenever you wanted them to. You know, the bands. I think the bands. Back then, it was always, no, we don't know that one.
Yeah.
It's like, can you sing that? No, we don't know that one. Oh, we don't do that one.
Yeah.
And then I think bands, to be a certain fair, I mean, so personally, I think the bands did mess it up for themselves in a way. They opened the door for the DJs. You know, oh, we don't sing that one. Oh, we don't sing the other band songs. It got like that at one point.
Yeah.
It got like that. It's like, oh, well, we don't sing that band songs. Oh, well, yeah, we don't like them. We don't sing that. And that's it. The crowd was like, okay, well, we want to hear that. And then the DJs came along and said, whatever you want.
Yeah, we got it.
Just give me 5 minutes and I'll put it on.
Let me get my CD out of my pocket. Right?
Here we go.
But I remember. So really, what you're kind of saying is that maybe the bands at that time could have maybe need to be more flexible, as in the style. Because if you look at someone like DCS, where you've got Shin, who's such a great singer, he could do the Hindi songs, and straight after that,
he still does.
Straight after that, it can jump into a pure Punjabi song, Challa or Put Jatta there, or even an English song if someone wanted it. I mean, he was such a versatile singer; it's unbelievable. So maybe that's where that's probably where their mistakes maybe lied. But
probably. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't around to see the whole, demise of that industry, that side of the industry. But yeah, I mean, they could have been a bit more flexible, and then money came into it. Money does come into it. And bands started charging more and more and more. Oh, that band's charging that much, so we'll charge this much. And then got to a point where the average kind of person couldn't afford a band, and the DJ was coming along at a quarter of the price.
Yeah,
and offering all the music.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Yeah,
no brainer really. And then the sound systems evolved. And suddenly it was, weddings were like clubs.
Yeah.
They still are, I think.
Yeah. I mean, actually, you're right. On my wedding, I'm just thinking who I had on hair on my wedding is DJ. So I can talk.
Yeah. With the CD in the pocket.
Yeah, CD
in the pocket, mate.
Sell it. I'm a sellout myself. Yeah, I didn't have a band. But I mean, that's the kind of trends in music. So for yourselves to try and navigate as a band is a difficult one. So really, it boils down to the music. If you've got the songs,
yes,
I think people will hire you for the festivals and the Miller season.
It will always come down to, there's a number of factors about getting onto festivals. And first of all, you got to know who you got to know. That's one of the key things. So I'm kind of lucky that we got signed to Kiss Records earlier on as soon as we came out. We had just won the award, and off the back of that, we were going to drop our first single. And within 3 days of dropping Sajna, I got a call from Sheikh from Kiss Records, and he said, "I like what you've done here. He goes, let me release it for you properly, and let me sign you as an artist and as a band," which he did. So we've been lucky in that sense, and that has helped us get a platform on to these festivals and things like that as well as the kind of music that we do as well.
Yeah,
so I think that also helps. Yeah. But yeah, you're definitely right. You need the songs.
You need the songs.
You need the songs that everybody likes, or the majority likes, because that's popularity. It's always based on popularity,
Yeah. But I
those
know
are the people that sell out the gigs.
But you've gone with Kiss Records. Sheikh's been around a long time. Hopefully you won't listen to this to say now how old he is, but he's been around a long time in the industry, and he's one of the first people that brought Jazzy B, I think, over as well.
That's correct. Yeah.
He did. And he signed PDM as well. Shin GC as well.
That's it. So, and he's back on his label now as well.
He's back on there as well. Yeah. So, so you sometimes you do need that person or that record company to give you that little support. It is hard.
That's it.
It is about who you know. Because you can spend many months and years even knocking on doors saying, "Can you give us a chance?" And it's hard because these people don't know you. They may even think you're good, but they won't give you a chance, and it's really frustrating, right? And you think, I just give me a chance. I can show you what I can do. So I think for people listening, who are in that similar situation, you can't give up, can you, Harvey? You just got to keep knocking on doors and trying and pushing and putting your stuff out there.
Don't give up.
Yeah. I mean, there must have been times when you was sort of setting the band up, doing your production and thinking, you know what, this is so much hard work and nothing's happening here.
I remember when we first got into production, and we did a demo, and funnily enough, it was for Jattande. I did a demo with my vocals, totally done on tape as well. It wasn't even done on CD. That's how basic it was. I don't know, half your listeners don't remember what the hell tape is, but we done it on a 4-track tape. You know, use 2 tracks for the use 2 tracks for the music, and then the 2 mono tracks for the vocals, double vocals. And I took that to a lot of the top record labels at the time, and it was just like, nah, not happening, not happening. And then it was like, oh my god, we're failures. That's it. I want to give up. But luckily, one record label said, okay, needs work, but I'll give you a couple of vocals, go away and produce them and bring them back, and then we'll see. And then that was it. That was the in. And
you need an in.
Again, we had to, pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
To get that. If we had given up on that moment, or after 2 record labels, then I think probably wouldn't be sitting there today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one, because sometimes when you do send it off to record labels, and they come back and say no, they usually say no. It's you think, well, I mean, do you know about music, or are they just looking at the bottom line, how much money they can make? Are they looking at it as a musical thing?
I think some of them do look at music. I mean, Sheikh certainly looks at the music. I mean, if he doesn't like something, he'll say, "No, Harvey, it's not there yet," or "Yeah, okay, let's improve it a little bit more. Let's try and push it more on that side of things and this side of things." So he's one of those active, spokespeople in terms of the music, where we're headed and things like that. But I think it will always come down to money. No one's going to do anything for free, And that goes back to the chat about the band thing. It's expensive because nobody wants to do anything for free. And then why should they? You wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's what the world makes the world go around. So you kind of have to kind of play, put your bit in, and take what you can, and hopefully somewhere along the line you end up with a product that works. Everyone's happy with the outcomes.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't know what your band's like. But why do bands eat so much? I mean, that food, they're always eating something, ain't they? It's true, though, isn't it?
Yes. It just happens.
Yeah, just on the road, you're eating a lot of nonsense crap, right? And
there's breakfast. If you're going for a gig up north, then let's just say your day starts at 7 in the morning, and so does theirs. And then there's breakfast, then there's a stop, then there's the odd drink or 2, and then there's lunch, and then there's dinner, and then there's food on the way home. Yeah. That's like 4 or 5 meals each.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus all the rest of the lunali chija.
Yeah, little snacks, little crisps.
Snacks, crisps. Yeah.
Exactly. And all the pint, I used to drink a lot, right? And so a lot of beer went down as well in the van, and it's not good for your health, man. I mean, on being on the road, it's you've got to be disciplined at least a little bit, I think.
Well, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I think for us, we're not gigging week in, week out, or we're not even gigging month in, month out. I'm not gonna lie, but we do it, several times a year. So for us, it's okay. Yeah, it's not bad. It's an experience. It's a great laugh.
Oh yeah.
The being in that van.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the most fun things about being in a band.
Absolutely, yeah.
The jokes and the piss take that goes on is hilarious.
Yeah, it's the best thing being in. That's what I'm saying to people that they don't know what it's like to be in a band. Going to a gig, even coming back from gigs is usually better because there's a lot of stories of what happened at the gig, right, or what went wrong, or what went right, and having to go at the promoters, thinking, well, he was on there for that long length of time, and that's the great
post-mortem, isn't it? It's the post-mortem.
Yeah, it's such a laugh, and the banter and the actual piss take out of each other. It's just you have to have a thick skin, right, to be in a band. You can't take nothing personally, right?
It depends giving it, but yeah.
You got to give it, and if you give it, you got to take it, definitely, right?
That's it, man. So give and take, man. Give and take.
But look, Harvey, for yourself now. Look, so you're signed for Kiss Records now. You got good support from Sheikh. You got sort of 4 singles under your belt ready. you're thinking of the future. I mean, what kind of plans do you have? I mean, I don't know about this year. Maybe 2020's sort of blown out now. I'm looking at 2021. What's the future for you guys?
Well, I think due to, obviously, like I said, you're probably sick of talking about it, but due to coronavirus, it's affected the music industry in a big way. Not in terms of releases, because it's all online, the releases are. So it's not, there's never been a physical stop there. But the artist output and what they get back from the public, it does come from shows, weddings, festivals, gigs. And obviously there's been zero, because the Punjabi industry starts its season kind of April, doesn't it? Kind of March, April, and it finishes kind of September, October. That's where you get all your weddings, festivals, gigs, especially for live band. It's very hard for a live band to be performing kind of post November, December, unless there's an award show or something like that, or a New Year's Eve kind of dinner and dance. So that's why that's what drove me to do the Hustle Gear cover that we did, that we put online last weekend. It's because the band hadn't done anything together, and I wanted to get them doing something. And Hustle Gear is one of our favourites when we perform it live anyway. So this time round, I thought, well, just keep the band in the spotlight, let people know we're still here, haven't gone anywhere. I know we haven't released any music this year so far, but we're planning on doing that later on this year. I'd probably say first single's probably going to be out July, maybe August. Let's see how fast we can get it finished. Still not finished yet, so still working on it. You know how it is. Yeah, forever ironing out the kinks. But yeah, so hopefully July, August, September, October, we'll be dropping a few singles in those sort of months, and then let's see what next year holds. Yeah.
Well, look, great stuff, Harvey. It's come towards the end. Thanks for coming on. I've had a great chat about bands and reminiscing about the old days. It's fun, right? Before you go, though, for people listening, let them know where they can sort of follow your work and the band's work.
Yeah. So mainly, social media is so huge, and you could be on it all day. I tend to mainly stick to Facebook. You can find me under Harvey Sahota. I've got Messenger on there if you need to contact me. I'm also on Instagram at the real Harvey Sahota, so you can find me there, and then on Twitter as well, the real Harvey Sahota. So that's it really. That's where you can find us. Other than that, you can find us on Kiss Records page for bookings and inquiries. You can go straight to Shake for that. Other than that, you can give Satman a call.
Give me a call.
He's the pseudo manager.
Exactly. Tell you what you guys could do. You could all buy a jacket, right? And inside the jacket is a little pocket. In the pocket, you can get a CD size. Right?
Yes.
Tell Shake I said that, all right? It's a good idea.
I think you just told him.
Look, Harvey, man, it's been a great laugh. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been good talking about bands. When your single's out later on this year, give me a shout. Come back on and we'll talk about it, see how it's getting on. And good luck for the future. Keep that live band going, man. I love live bands, and we're here to support you all the way. So good luck.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.